right, let me push this out real quick.
What's good, guys? Live here with Mike, the used book guy, for the first time in my new house. I can't believe FHA is legal. I get to put 3.5% down on a house. This was a $500,000 house, 3.5% down in Nashville and outside of Nashville, actually, Murfreesboro. And they left the patio furniture too. So I get all this furniture for free. If I wanted to, I could flip it on Facebook Marketplace. My girlfriend's really particular about furniture, so I'm not looking forward to spending. I'll probably spend as much as I put down on this thing on damn furniture. But
It's going to be the same way when we get a place. I'm curious with the FHA, don't they have to do like an extra like inspection or whatever?
yeah, there's because it's government backed, so I'm sure there's. I don't really know what to compare it to, but they were pretty in depth with every. They were asking like tons of questions. They were asking the book business blueprint. That's a course I had a few years ago, and it hasn't really made me money. I don't think for like at least 2 years. I know maybe it made me a little bit in 2023 or something. Steve and I used it to like split software expenses, and they were like digging into it. They were like, "What is the book business blueprint? Tell us about it." And I'm like, "Guys, it's literally like $500 of income in 2023. Chill." But people keep calling me. I need to like get a new number or something. My number's on like a spam call list of some sort. But
Yeah, my
FHA
wife's
is a
the
headache,
same.
man. You said
Yeah,
what?
dude, it is. It's I think you could even do it. It's 3.5 the lease. I thought you could even possibly get it down to like 2% with the
Really?
FHA.
Maybe I didn't know about that. I did the math. It was like 16,000 something on a $504,000 house.
It's
So
crazy.
504 times point zero. Yeah, I think I paid less. I think I paid maybe like 3% because 17 would be the down. Anyway,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it's long overdue.
for all the entrepreneurs watching, I know a lot of you guys are older than me, but something I wish I would have done years ago when it comes to buying houses and assets, I guess really a house, is when you have 2 good years of taxes as an entrepreneur, I think that's when you should get the house. Like if you're thinking about it and you have 2 good years of taxes, then you should probably do it. Because I was like in 2021, I was like, business was going good, restricted inventory, had really good taxes. And then 2022 was the year I went through all the shutdowns, and I had enough to write off in 2022 that I filed zero taxes. So then I was screwed for another couple years before I could, really 3 years before I could do it, get a good mortgage again. And there's other ways to do it, but in terms of doing the FHA route, which I'm a bigger pockets fan, and they always say like if you have an FHA, use it immediately.
Yeah, it's stupid though, right? To think about it, we gotta show that we paid the government all this tax money just to be able to get approved for,
Yeah,
a big loan. And in
yeah,
actuality, it's like, well, as self-employed people, we can write off, part of our rent, part of all of our utilities, the
yeah.
vehicle expense, like basically every bill. So technically, it might be on paper a zero net profit, but if you took out all your cost of living and all your write-offs, like
Yeah,
it was still a really profitable business.
yeah, yeah. If you're doing a little bit of finagling with your CPA, which I'm a fan of that. This is not
Yeah,
CPA
dude.
advice, but yeah, it's but then again, that's just for FHA. That's just for government backed loans. But I see the point. It's like probably the most accurate way to determine if someone's really making money is like look at their taxes, because otherwise you have people that, well, if they're getting like a bank statement loan, they could have someone like send them money or something to make it look like income.
Yeah, and I think especially in the reselling space, a lot of people, since the requirements were so high for taxes, like most people don't even report it because they weren't hitting the 20,000 threshold, right? So you don't even technically get the 1099, so most people don't report it. But if you're in a situation like you were, or like I'm currently in trying to buy a house,
Mm-hmm.
you got to have some type of documents to back that up.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
sucks.
I'm
Makes you
excited.
feel a little better when you pay all the taxes, I guess, at the end of the year. You're like, oh, here goes all this money, but maybe this will benefit me in the long run. But
Yeah,
like you said, you gotta pounce on it when you can, because you have that zero net year where you made $0. you're screwed. You're back to
Yeah,
square
yeah.
one.
And it also makes you think, like, as you get older, years pass by so fast, and you're kind of realizing like the government's getting their cut every year. So if your business goes like up like this and then legitimately takes a crash, they'll charge you out the ass for taxes 1 year. Oh, you made 200,000 net. Okay, we're going to come in and take 40 grand or whatever it comes out to, probably more. And then the next year, you legitimately can lose 40 grand or whatever. You can go negative. What's the government going to do? They're not going to come in and say, oh, since last year, you paid us so much, we're actually going to give you some money to help you with your loss. They're not going to do that.
It's the
And then
same
the
way
next
with
year when you
gambling.
do well again, they're gonna unless you, I'm sure there's ways to factor in the 40 loss negative year, but they're gonna come right back in and take their money.
Yeah, dude. It's the same way with gambling, right? If you win like over $1,000, you got to pay taxes on it. But if you lose everything you ever made in your life, you ain't getting nothing back.
Right. I'm gonna get the wildflowers in the background. Wildflowered up.
It's just a tent. Now we can't see the house. It's really not a house. It's just a
Yeah.
tent in a yard. How's your
I just got
how's
done
your Prime
camping,
Day
actually.
sales been?
Prime Day sales have been insane, man. Insane. I had not my record sales. So when I was doing restricted inventory, I remember Taylor Jones was flipping chlorine, and I started flipping chlorine because he was, and we were like having a competition to kind of have more sales in one day. And I did like 40 grand in sales a few years ago in one day. And I think like 15 of them were just textbooks. And it was kind of like me just like being competitive and like lowering the price of my So I think 40 grand is like my max sales day, but we did 35 grand 2 days ago, which I think was the start of Prime. But for the whole month before, my sales, I had a negative month. I lost money in June because we got restricted in the main brand that we sell. And between like paying my team, like the loan I have and all of that, my net profit was like negative 4 grand. So it was crazy. But now this month we've probably made, between me and my partners, I mean we've done 150 grand in sales the last few days. It's insane. Amazon's wild.
It is. It's just important to, as you grow your business, to have like that slush fund of capital for when the storms come, because they're going to come sooner or later, right? Like it's just a matter of when.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
dude. That's
if.
why that's why I'm getting this house, is because things go good, things go bad, but at least I'll always have this. I can always have my real estate, you know. So I'm gonna keep putting money in assets, particular real estate over the years. That's the one that feels the most real. Like
Yeah.
Bitcoin's at an all-time high right now, 115,000. I got a decent amount for considering my net worth of Bitcoin, but who knows, that could crash in the
You
future.
got any mutual funds, dude, or are you just one of these crypto bros?
I'm more crypto, but I recently downloaded Robinhood and I bought some Meta, and I'm seeing what Walmart's doing. Steve says 118K right now. That's crazy. Um, and with I'm buying Walmart because I see what they're doing with sellers, and I think that's gonna help them out. Maybe I'm just like a little bit biased because I'm on the seller side and I see Walmart's being nice to their sellers, and so I see that as like they could compete against Amazon and go up. Yeah, I think it's a little bit lower than that, Steve. I just checked, but I'm happy. My crypto portfolio is going up. But Robinhood's a really good app. I don't hold mutual funds, but my cousin, he does this thing where he matches Nancy Pelosi's whatever
That's a
she
good,
buys.
smart move. Smart move.
Yeah, so but it's a 45-day delay, so you're buying 45 days after. But I think she's kind of like a long-term player or long-term thinker. I don't know much. I'm just kind of talking here, but I think she doesn't buy and do quick flips, so I think it's okay if you buy 45 days after. But there's some people you can follow on there that you can buy trades the same day they do, and you can see how much their portfolio has gone up. I think the app's called Shutter, and it connects with Robinhood and automatically does that for you. So I want to put money in AI, and I'm trying to find out how to do that. You can't invest in
Yeah.
open AI because it's not
It's
publicly traded.
I agree. I mean, that's going to be everything. It already is almost everything, right? Like everybody is basically using it now. When a year ago there was only a small percentage of people using. I think people have kind of realized the capabilities of all the AI across the board. Like it's nuts. Yeah, I don't do no crypto. I'm just the old mutual fund guy. Just puts my money into mutual funds and takes my
Yeah, I'm
10
a
to
pretty
fifteen
risky
percent.
person, but I've been burned so many times over the years that like now I'm trying to be smart with my money, and I know real estate's like one of the best places to put it. But I'm a huge believer in crypto. Like I think Bitcoin is going to go well over 1 million in the next decade or so. So I'm going to be putting a lot of my money into that. But it's taken a lot of patience to like keep all the cash I have and not just dump it all into Bitcoin.
Just a little bit every month, dude. 15% of your income, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Rakin says from homeless living in his car to 7 figures in Amazon owning a home. Heck yeah. I just, for the first time, I watched the full video of me living in my car this morning, actually. And it was just kind of crazy, like just hearing how I even thought about things differently back then. Because I never legitimately really made money online. The only thing that kind of made me money was books, like flipping textbooks in college. And I had a good feeling that books were going to work on the road living in the car, but I still really didn't know. And I was probably cash flow negative for the first almost 2 months, really, because I was trying to scale fast. I was trying to buy a lot of books. And I said like a couple of things in the video that stood out to me. Like I was really worried about my gas mileage, which now I never think of because I have so many other problems that like for me to think about what gas station to go to and like drive the extra 5 minutes would just be a waste. But back then I was like, I took all this stuff from the top of my car and I put it in the car to save some money on gas. And I'm like, I would never do that. And then there was something else I said that I thought I could survive on $250 a month back then, man. I thought that
I
was like a
mean,
lot to survive. I thought that was like pushing it. I'm like, okay, that's going to be like a pretty big budget. Dude, I spent that like in the first week on like KFC and Chipotle.
I know it's crazy when you realize when you go from having nothing to having some, and you're like, it's easy to. I mean, let's be real. It's easier today to make money than it's ever been,
Yeah,
like in the history of the universe.
get a little bit of rain out here. Gonna run in. Oh, by the way, I lost my keys already to the house, and I was so excited to get in that I broke in the window here.
It's your house. You can do whatever the hell you want to do now.
Yeah, they actually left the window open, but I just climbed in. I did rip off. I broke the whatever it's called, the screened part. But
I I see now like all the jobs they offer like same day pay, which is crazy to me because I remember working when I was broken, like you had to wait every 2 weeks to get paid. And now like you finish your shift working and you get paid like immediately. Like that alone is like, how are we not making strides to be better financially if we can get paid the same day we finish our job, right? Like, and
yeah,
there's everywhere is hiring. Sure, the pay not might not be great, but if you got nothing, something's better than nothing. Because I mean, you were in your car. I basically lived dollar to dollar for 5 years to try to get out of debt. So like, I don't know. It's hard for us to, I guess, speak on it because we lived it and we kind of grinded it out to get where we're at. But like the opportunity of selling on Amazon, like I was thinking about it today. Like I was talking to somebody that's got a bulk business on Amazon, and
yeah,
it's like this opportunity is so crazy and most people are not ever going to understand what we do trying to explain to
yeah,
your friends and family what you do to make money, but like you can not really work that hard and make 10 grand a month doing this business.
yeah. Once you get it dialed in, like once you get past the phase of sending in 5 million ranked books, sending in the bad books, once you get past the phase of spending 4 fucking hours to learn the listing process, once you get past all the stuff, all the learning curve, and once you get a good system for just going out finding books, put them in a box, ship them to Amazon, and repricing. Like once you get that down, then it's a hack. But it's a couple month learning process to get there, and most people just give up.
You think another reason because is it just too boring after a while? Like you think people just get tired of it, right? Like even though you make money, I feel like some people just get, oh
Yeah, maybe
well.
if you don't enjoy it. Yeah, I think some people don't enjoy it enough to do, and that's completely like legitimate. Like I think we need to find things that we slightly, I say slightly enjoy. like the thing I enjoy most is like it was dancing salsa. I still enjoy like grappling and wrestling, jujitsu, all that. But um, I think I can take my drive and my like work ethic and just dump it into Amazon social media software and like for sure get super super rich. Or I could like pursue my passion. I still coach wrestling, so I still get to have my cake and eat it too. But like originally, when I back in 2017, I was like, I'm gonna pursue wrestling and like coach, and like I didn't get paid shit, and I'm good, but I'm not like I don't know. Maybe I could be world class at one of them. At wrestling, I was good enough. I mean, I was like I could hang with. I beat a D1 guy once, like, but I don't think that it was ever gonna like to get paid in wrestling. Like you have to be like literally like the best in America. And with jujitsu, you can be good and like run a gym. Who knows? Maybe I could have made it work going that route, but now I get to do that stuff, as like a hobby instead. So like, I don't think books definitely aren't like my passion. It's just what made me money. I can tolerate it. I do enjoy it. I do like books, but it was really just the fact that between cutting grass and selling books on Amazon, I could listen to like so many audiobooks and podcasts all day. Just put the headphones on like you got right now and scan for hours in the store, and I feel like that really helped like me learn how to do entrepreneurship. Was all that like all the
Yeah,
information I was absorbing.
I'm kind of in the same boat, right? Like you're saying, like you get some excitement, passionate. They were like, I'm not excited to go scan like I did this morning, but like I'm excited about the potential money I'm going to make and like the next steps that's going to get me to. So like, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just super greedy for being super broke, but anything that can make me a lot of money with a little bit of effort is going to excite me, even if it's like cleaning porta potties, right? If you're going to pay me $100 an hour, where are they at? I'll clean them right now.
Yeah, I feel you. Steve giving us updates on Coinbase. I'm putting all my money into buying more kittens. Amazon Prime Day just dropped 41% on day two. It was on Bloomberg News. Drop. Amazon Prime Day dropped 41% on day two. Okay. Economy is not in a good place. Gotcha. Well, maybe today will be better. I think today's sales are better than yesterday.
Yeah, I have decent days the past 2 days. I mean, I try to tell everybody in the media space, it's not like you're going to see a crazy uptick because we sell media. Yeah, there's more people on Amazon, so you should sell more, but it's not like, the wholesale guys like you, the OA guys that have the more desirable products that are selling 50, 100 units a day. For us, we should see like a 20 to 40% increase in our average sales day over the month, but it's not going to be anything crazy like the numbers you're going to be pushing.
Right. Larry says, make more, spin more. Books changed my entire life. It is easy. No. Is it easy? No. But it's all the work and learning worth it. Yes. Yeah. Larry's been in the game longer than both of us. I remember back when I started, sometimes he was even like a little bit of a Debbie Downer in the groups, and I'm sure he may continue to be in the future, but right now he's in a good mood and he respects the grind, and I respect that. So um, Eric says, I love the hunt and finding profitable disc and books. What's your minimum profit per book when sourcing? I feel like we get asked this on every call, but I'm gonna let you take that one away.
It's a loaded question. If you have the buy box, it's going to be different if you don't have the buy box. So if you're a new seller, you got to be a little bit more. If it's a faster moving book and you're a new seller, you don't have the buy box. You're trying to get the buy box. I'm fine with you spending $1 to make $3 if it's got 100 sales score or e score, whether using Scoutly or Scout IQ. If you do have the buy box, you need to bump it up to at least $5. You also have to factor in your buy cost on Scoutly or Scout IQ, the placement fees, which on average is like 22 cents. So if you ever watch one of my YouTube videos and you see the buy box or the placement fees is my buy cost on my Scoutly screen. So you'll see 22 cents, and that is on average how much Amazon is going to charge you per item for their placement fees. But yeah, $5 if you have the buy box. If it's a fast mover to me is going to be anything that's basically under a million rank. But yeah, don't chase long tail $5 items. You will literally lose your ass in fees and removal fees.
Justin Rose says, what up, guys? Got on gating religious DVDs?
Definitely
What is
underrated.
religious DVDs, dude? Like, give us a brand.
Yeah, I know. It's
We
like
need
its
more
own category.
information. We talking like
Sounds
the
good.
Gaither Gospel series? Like, yeah, those are banging sometimes.
NIV.
NIV, yeah, Zondervan, yeah, yeah. Well, luckily for me, I've been around long enough. They let me sell basically everything on the platform without any invoices.
Uh, Larry says I'm a hater. Any word on getting the API change worked out so we can list fast again? I'm serious. Well, it depends on how you list. And I don't know your exact flow, Larry, but I'm going to be making a lot more videos showing you guys how this whole mobile listing thing works. Probably soon, because we already have it. Like it's in beta right now, but you guys can use it. But it's not launched. Like if you have the Go To Lister app, it doesn't let you mobile list. You have to ask us, and then we'll activate it for you. So just reply to any support at Go To Lister email, and we'll activate it. But with that being said, in my head, it's kind of like instant F and SKU generations back. And I'm curious your thoughts on this, Mike, because I don't think we've talked about this yet. But the flow would be, especially at library sales, because at library sales, what you're doing is you're scanning like mad. You're just every book that turns green, you're throwing it. That's a smart way to do it if you're really trying to maximize your profit. Then at the end, maybe you're putting back 3 to 5% because you scan fast, you didn't really look at the data. That's when you open up the Go To Lister app to list. So you're listing these books, you're checking for restrictions, you're checking the profit, you're actually throwing it in the batch. Now, this does a few things. Number one, it checks your profit, checks for restrictions, make sure you can actually list it. But another thing it does is it gets that SKU starting to be created, which can take sometimes up to 24 hours. It's rare. Usually it only takes about 15 minutes to an hour or so. And so what we recommend now is check all your books in line. You can do this at Goodwill too. This could be any physical sourcing. Like you always should be double checking your items. So during the double check process, you're actually listing them. Then you can now schedule the send, which this is live on the app, on the Go To Lister website too. You can schedule it for 3 hours or I think it's 24 hours between those two. And is it 3 hours, right?
Yeah, 3. Yep.
Yeah. So 3 hours is kind of like the sweet spot. It's what you guys voted for in terms of the send to later. And what that does is now you can scan your books in, click on the 3 hour immediately in the library sale or in the Goodwill, whatever. Then by the time you get home, you have all of your boxes. Let's just say you have 3 boxes. You should have 3 batches on Go To Lister already all scanned in. Now what you can do is just go to your computer and click on print all F and SKUs. It's going to print them out faster than you can imagine. Or you can also pick up the book and scan it, and it will instantly print out the F and SKU faster than ever. And the reason why is the F and SKU is already created. Whereas in the past, when we've listed, I'm talking about 2023, 2022, and years before, when you scan the book, it would have to connect to Amazon and generate the F and SKU. But since you already checked them, really listed them at the library or wherever you were, now by the time you get home, the F and SKU's already preloaded and it can just spit out instantly. So, Larry, what's the max books you're listing and how many boxes with this? What I recommend is to keep it simple for now. I really want to make a duplicate batch option because I know creating a batch can be a little bit like you're clicking a lot of buttons, but one batch per box. And then that way, when you get home, if you do have any problem items or anything you have to pull out, it's super, super easy. Like, oh, it's in box 1. We have 2 books we need to pull out in box 1. Oh, no errors in box 2, whatever. So if you list with Go To Lister, or really any listing software for that matter right now, and you scan your books in really fast and then click submit, you're going to have a terrible experience because a lot of them are going to go straight to the error queue because they don't have enough time to be creative. We need to give it more time unless you schedule the send. But the thing I like about the mobile listing is like, and I feel like I really need to do a lot of education on this. I feel like it's going to take a while maybe to really hit is you're already checking the books anyway in the store. Now you're just listing them as you check them. And so you're not really adding any time to what you'd be doing anyway. And then when you get home, the F and SKUs are ready to go, and you're almost guaranteed no split shipments. If you're just listing books, no splits. Now, Mike, if you're listing books, CDs, and DVDs, those can be go to
You ain't
different.
getting no splits. I haven't gotten
I'm calling them
splits.
splits. They're not even called splits. It's called different placement options. So if you
Yeah.
list shoes and books, they're probably going to tell you to send the shoe somewhere else. But split shipments aren't really a thing. So, I'll touch it, Drew, if you download mobile listing and give me a review. Drew's in the comment. He's my cousin. Just a little inside joke. But anyway.
I think it's going to be there's actually somebody that's in my group, and she's part-time, and she likes the idea of being able to list on the go. So she was doing a lot of bulk, and she would have to take her kid to like soccer practice and whatever. So for her it's going to be, she can take a box with her. As stupid as this sounds, there's plenty of people out there like that, that she can take a box, take her kid to soccer practice, and literally list in her car while her kid's at soccer practice.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to me that the possibilities something like this opens up. And I think, the next step will be, well, you can literally, maybe down the road, there's a thermal printer that's also wireless, and
They're
you
already
literally
there.
just
Rollo,
just
wire printer.
have it all in your trunk, dude.
Yeah.
I don't got to lift anything up 3 flights of steps anymore.
Reezy's been talking about doing a video where he goes out and sources only with his phone and lists with his phone and then has a wireless printer in his car or something. That's a video he's talked about doing. But I used to list, one of my most viewed YouTube videos is how to list on the Amazon seller app on your phone. I shot it in my closet like 7 years ago. I just did like a little voiceover of the Amazon seller app, just a couple minute video. And people really like that. That's why I thought, people are going to like mobile listing. And then also when I used to drive, I would list with the Amazon seller app sometimes. Like at the very early stages, I used to scan before I knew about the other software. I would scan, list. That way everything was ready to go.
Yeah, and I think it's only going to get better, and we're going to develop processes to where the mobile listing is literally going to allow us to be more efficient than we already are.
Mm-hmm. Tony is saying, is it worth it to only make $1 or $2 on fast moving? That would be a no for you, right?
No, I mean, if you're getting them in bulk, we're not listing anything that's going to be like, you sell a DVD or CD at like $6.99. You, depending on what your buy cost is, you might make $1 or $2, but that is not a good habit to get yourself into unless you're doing heavy bulk. But then your sell through rate really doesn't matter because you already have account health assurance. Account health assurance is not all it's cracked up to be, and the only way you can get it is by selling more stuff. So like if you're part-time, you're probably never going to hit it just by the sheer amount of volume you have to do. So just be a little bit more, I guess, risk averse when it comes to sending certain things in. Don't send in dollar stuff though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the problem with any business reliant on Amazon that has like a $1 profit, you can make a ton of money on those items. Like whether you're doing wholesale, books, whatever, like you can run a huge operation that makes profit. The problem is if they raise the fees that $1, all your margin's gone. Whereas if you have higher priced items, then your ASP is so high and your margin's so much bigger that when these Amazon fees come in 2026, 2027, 2028, the people who are going to be squeezed out are the people with the ASP of like 10,
Yep.
11, 12. The people with the ASP of 30, like the textbook guys, they're fine, whatever, and so keeping a high ASP, that's why it's so important in any business, not just the book business.
That's a
I mean,
good
there
one.
are exceptions. I've thought about this because people always say like the best business is to sell, high priced items, blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot of apps out there that just sell for $1 for a month or something, and they make bank, but those are kind of the exception. And that's a whole different model. It's when you have like a really good product, you can just blast out to people. Textbook season has started. What's today? Not really yet. Maybe a few sales are coming in. Textbook season really picks up. Maybe the end of July, you'll see a few sales. Maybe now you're seeing like high school textbooks take off. But for me, I always sold college textbooks, and that third week of August was always the best.
Yeah, dude, August, you go back to college. Yep.
Are you gated in Universal now? I feel like we talked about this too.
No. Here's my theory on gates, right? Universal comes down, there'll be another one that drops. Amazon takes a look at all the sellers, everybody that can currently sell Universal. So they say, all right, well, the top 3% we're not going to gate. The next 10% we're going to gate for 100 units, and then the next 90% we're going to hard gate. I think we're going to see this more and more across the board with a lot of these brands, and I've seen it a lot. when I'm out scanning, I got that soft restriction, and then I just apply, get automatically approved. I think Amazon is trying to knock down the number of sellers on certain brands, and that's why some people got gated in Universal and some didn't, because they said, okay, well, they have this criteria. Well, has this person sold 1,000 Universal units in the past 12 months? No, that knocks you down to the next tier. Then they just keep kind of working its way down. It's like Sony and Disney are hard gated for a lot of people. I think it's all, at the end of the day, Amazon wants you to sell your stuff. They don't want your shit sitting in their warehouses. So, and yeah, just because you have an invoice, I try to tell people this too, Victor, is like, you can go get the most legitimate invoice from Mr. Universal himself. That doesn't mean Amazon has to take it. That's just the reality of it, right? Like, how many times do you have to submit an invoice to get it to go through, right? It's there's so many.
So, I mean, I can speak a little bit. We just got gated, and it took us 4 weeks to get ungated. And I have someone who's really good at ungates. So if you guys ever get gated, ever have a freak accident, get gated in books, happens sometimes. Any brand, there's Amazon's always changing. You're right. There's like, it comes in waves. Like when textbooks used to get gated years ago, my dumbass was like, hey, you guys can't sell textbooks, send all your textbooks to me. Because I just saw it as like a big money opportunity because I had an account that could sell textbooks. So everybody tried to send me their textbooks. And I remember kind of like shoving this thought in the back of my head. It's like when you're in debt or something, like you don't want to think about the debt. You just like shove the debt behind. Like you don't want to think about it. I was like, why are all these people sending me books? And it would come in waves. Like people would dispose their textbooks to me, just giant waves. Somebody sent me 1,000 textbooks one time. And I'm like, like here's another wave of people sending me inventories because Amazon was gating people at different times. And they still do this to this day. Like when they roll out new updates, you know, some new accounts, you might have what's called like I don't even know what they call it, but it's a real rep. They give you like somebody who helps you with your account. It's the same person every time. Half the other accounts don't have it, but you do. So Amazon's constantly testing things. They have 3 million employees. We're dealing with like a monster here. We're not dealing with like a business that really cares about you. This is like AI's involved, 3 million employees, and most of them are focused on customers, not on sellers. They have lawsuits going on about them allowing to sell counterfeit items. And so what are they trying to do? They're trying to throw out all these different things to protect their marketplace from brands and from categories that are highly likely counterfeit. And we're just kind of, what we're dealing with is me and you and a few other of like the gurus on here, whatever, like we're like, okay, we're noticing this is happening. Like we're noticing a wave happen. We're noticing if you just spam the invoices, you'll get approved. We're noticing that if they audit your whole account, goodwill receipts work. We're noticing like, and all we can do is like report what's happening. Like they don't shoot it straight with us at all. Like I feel like we're just dealing with like the effects of a monopoly, and we have to pay attention and share information with each other.
It's the same way with the lost items, the go-to batch history working for lost items. It's not an invoice or anything.
Talk about that a little bit because people might not know what you're talking about. Like when you send items to Amazon, sometimes Amazon loses them, and then I found out your group is getting money.
So like you send a box, you go look at your shipments tab, it's closed, and it says they received 40 of 80 or 0 of 120, right? And you're all pissed off. You're like, I know I didn't send a box full of air, right? You sent the 80 or 120 items. We tried this in multiple, even myself have gotten results where if you just go into GoToLister and download that batch history, once Amazon lets you open an investigation on that box, what I do personally is, because I use the same damn boxes, I use these these Lowe's boxes. Mm-hmm. I put a photo from Google of the Lowe's box and say, here's the exact box I sent it in. I put the actual batch history from GoToLister so you can go back and look at it and see, that's exactly the FBA shipment. You upload that as well. And believe it or not, yeah, they're backed up right now. I think the last one I put in January, and they literally got back to me in like May. So they're a few months behind with investigating these. But they actually reimburse you and give you a fair market value. It's better than zero. I know a lot of people are all pissed off, like, dude, I had a $10,000 DVD in there, like, listen, at least you got something back. And they're taking this thing that they shouldn't even take because it's not an invoice. I guess it's an invoice from, if they ask, just say it's an invoice from Romer.
Maybe
And
don't say that. Maybe don't say that.
don't say that. Don't, if they bring up his name, just say you don't know that damn guy. But yeah, multiple people have gotten, hundreds of dollars back for inventory that was quote unquote lost just by submitting the go-to list or batch history of that specific box and then a picture of the actual box. Now, I know some of these use like Dunkin' Donuts boxes, DiGiorno pizza boxes. That's another benefit of using the same box over and over again. A situation like this, they know if they do decide to go look and pull up the video of the exact time that it said it was closed, they see your Lowe's box sitting there. I mean, I don't have any rhyme or reason, but it works and it gets you money. So the hell with it. Do it if you're
Yeah.
missing quantity.
Yeah, and something I've heard that Amazon's also doing, like I talk a lot to my not account specialist, but the person that helps when you guys get shut down and when I deal with account issues. She's like a person that knows people. She's connected. I'll just say that. And something she says is pictures of your box, like in an area that looks like a warehouse, or even just pictures of your items, always helps. Whether you're trying to get ungated, whether you're trying to do whatever they're asking for you to upload invoices, like having pictures of your items really help. I made a kind of a crazy YouTube video a while back, and maybe I'll make a better one now that I have a house and I can dedicate a garage to it. But I'm so paranoid now with, like, especially newer accounts scaling up fast. Amazon really likes to see pictures of the products you listed. So I thought, what if I just recorded all the products I'm listing, which is kind of a pain, but you can just like you can put up the scanner and scan all your books like that. You could put a camera on your phone or some type of camera and just upload it to the cloud every time, put the date on it. And then that way, if Amazon says like, hey, this is a suspected counterfeit, you could actually pull up the book from the video on the day and then have like the receipt for the batch that you're listing with, like right next to it. And I feel like that would, I'm not saying that would work like 100%, but that's kind of like the stuff they're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think about this all the time. When I do have a house like yourself, like, because I'm going to be doing kind of like work with me videos anyway, like you could literally just have the camera set up on the wall. All the shit goes right to the cloud anyway. So you don't even
Mm.
have to do no work. All you do is just turn the thing on and boom, you have it there for basically infinite amount of time.
Yeah. I live in Toronto. I will start book selling here. Do you know anyone doing FBA book selling? Not in Toronto, but on the other side of Canada, that's where Vishal and Manroop are. And they're probably one of the most inspiring booksellers I know of. They've stacked a few million cash in the bank. They both started with $5,000. They built relationships with thrift stores near them in Vancouver. And but they're selling on .com. A lot of their sales are on .com. So that's something to look into. Talk to some Canadians and see how those. Do you know how the Canadian sales are for books?
Yeah, we got a few in my group. They do pretty decent. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit changes to, like, I know from what I've heard, their buy box, they still haven't fixed the full merchant fulfilled buy box issue up there yet, but there's success stories out of Canada for sure. People actively doing it. Now I don't know where they're specifically at in Canada, but I mean, you should be able to have the inventory around you. And like Avery said, I would look into possibly selling on .com, how close you are to the American border. There's different services you can use to kind of get your inventory across the border.
Also, just in a huge box. It was 22 total books. Box inside a box. Team lift stickers are all around it, and effing SKUs.
You see they're increasing the box sizes for FBA.
No, what are they doing?
They're increasing the size of the boxes you're allowed to send, not the weight. So it used to be 24 inches, and I think it's going up to 36 on one side now.
That
So,
doesn't really help us
nah.
too much, does it?
I mean, you could theoretically fill that box up with
Oh, with a
DVDs,
set.
but I mean, for me, I'll just keep doing what I'm actually doing. I just feel like if you my luck, I fill up one of those big ass boxes with like 300 DVDs, and that's the box that goes missing, and then I'm bankrupt, and then I got to move in with Avery.
Yeah. I got plenty of room. I don't know what the hell I'm with all this space, man. This is one bedroom. We have 3 bedrooms total, and then a bunch of, I don't even know what the other rooms are considered if they're not bedrooms. Closets, but they're huge. So you're welcome. You're welcome here anytime. Alejandro's or Larry says, Alejandro, I completely switched to merchant fulfilled. I liked it. I must have convinced Larry. Larry, did you do that during the FBA buy box scare? Was that when you switched? I mean, it's not a terrible idea. I understand people that want to MF. It's kind of like people that want to, put their cash underneath the bed. That's where they put all their savings. They want to have control because you never know, when something's going to happen. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like a double-edged sword because it's like when you think about FBA and like, should we do FBA? And like, even when the buy box was not given to FBA sellers for like a couple week period this year, it really made me think back. I thought for a while, I was like, this might be forever. Like, wow, how awesome was it that we used to be able to pack books in boxes, send them to Amazon. They could sell for more and they would sell faster. And now we're back to that. And who knows how long it's going to last. But I'm on the boat of make hay while the sun shines. And like, this is working now. Like, let's keep doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Victor, don't move on. Just keep submitting it. And what Avery said, submit photos of every single product next to that invoice.
Yeah,
Just,
that really helps. And just 90% of it is just like keep going, and reach out to me, and I can help you and make sure that you're submitting good stuff too. If you want, I got a pretty good connect for Ungates. Anthony says, "Yo, yeah, if you guys are sending sets of books, put Team Lift. You don't have to put a sticker. You can write it or put a sticker on it, and if it's more than one item, you can only do one SKU per box. And you put the little tiny F in SKU sticker on the outside, and then the UPS sticker and the FBA sticker. Yeah, I used to send 140-pound boxes of sets to Amazon. But you got to really be careful with how you pack them because running a consignment book business, like hundreds of people were sending me textbooks on the regular. And it was not uncommon, like every other month, to receive an empty box. Just all the books fell through the bottom. So don't use thin. If you're going to send in a large set, definitely use heavy duty boxes. I'm thinking of building a repricing software. I'm learning to use the Amazon API now. Any advice? DM me, we can talk, but the API only shows the lowest 20 offers. So you're going to be limited by that. What I mean by that is like, if on a really fast selling book like Life of Pi, that's a fast selling book, right? And it's not restricted, right? Life of Pi is not restricted.
I don't think so. No.
Poison the Boat is a restricted one I'm thinking of. Let's just say there's 140 sellers on there. If the bottom 50 are merchant fulfilled and then the 51st is FBA, then it's only ever going to show to the API the lowest 20. So we call that like the FBA blind spot. Like the repricer is not going to show you other FBA offers. And as FBA sellers, we only want to compete against other FBA sellers. So my advice to you would be look at who's done good. Mike doesn't like it when I say this, but I like NeuroPrice's solution. They're actually going through some stuff right now, but NeuroPrice would actually compete against other FBA offers. And there's been a few other softwares out there that I've attempted to do that, but I would study Reprice It. That's Mike's favorite. I would look at the idea of the FBA blind spot from NeuroPrice and just kind of think of how can I innovate the market? How can I do better? And come up with some creative ideas there. At GoToLister, one thing we've done, and a repricer could build on this, is if there's no FBA offers, we automatically price your book 20% higher. Unless the sales rank's atrocious. But if it's a semi-fast moving book, we help you initially price the book 20% higher because we know you can make that because there's no FBA competition. So I think roping something like that in would be good.
Yeah, it would be cool if you could see how much more money you've made people off smart pricing.
Yeah, like going against the buy box. We show people on the box content how much we've saved them lifetime, but yeah, I've thought about that too. I just don't want to prematurely count it. Like, oh, this batch made you. We might do it, but what I don't want to do is new sellers like they're going to be sending in a bunch of million ranked books that they shouldn't be, and they're like, oh my gosh, GoToLister made me an extra $1,000 on this, and it's like you shouldn't be pricing that book at $700. That book sells for
$20.
But if there was some way to retroactively check, which I'm sure in the future we can. Probably do something like that. Isn't it good to do small boxes rather than big items to keep better track? I think he's maybe referring to some of your advice.
16 by 12 by 12. It's the only box I ever used in my life. Home Depot's got them. Lowe's got them. Walmart's a little bit. I think Walmart's like 17 by 11 by 11. When it comes to tracking your inventory, in the beginning, you think every book is your firstborn child, but after you've been doing this for a while, you just want to throw them in the box and get them out of your house as quick as you can. So don't get too caught up with checking your shipment status every single day of the week. It'll get there. It'll get checked in. I don't do any type of crazy tracking like that. When it comes to like overall analytics, I mean, GoToList will give you your daily profit, your monthly, weekly profit, whatever that may be. When it comes to just overall putting stuff in a box, I mean, I sent a book box this past week that was 49.6 pounds. So I fill it up as much as I can. I fill boxes up. You can fit like 84 DVDs in one of the boxes, and you can fit like 180 CDs in a box. I've sent full boxes of just CDs multiple times without issues.
We're all living the dream, man. We all got access to FBA. In worst case, shit hits the fan. Amazon suspends all of our accounts.
Who
There's no
cares?
Amazon sellers. I got my car to live. I got a RAV4 now. I won't even be going back to the Corolla. I'll be pimping out that RAV4, putting a sleeping bag in it, hitting the road.
Yeah, well, we all can come live at your place. We're not worried about it.
Do you have a good inventory system?
I mean, it depends what you're talking about, right? Like, you just send the stuff,
You
right?
have a pretty good system because I think your system's good because you talk about getting rid of most of your books before the long-term storage fees hit.
You got it, dude. I'm telling you, I want a business. I want to be the first media business that has a month where I have zero long-term storage fees, and I've been doing it for more than a year. Like, you have to sell your inventory at break-even prices, or sometimes you're better off selling the book at a loss than paying the removal fees. And I know we are so attached to trying to get the most for our items, but after 6 months, I am literally the lowest FBA price, regardless of the buy box, regardless of anything, all the way down to $6.49. You gotta get rid of dead inventory. If it hasn't sold on Amazon in 6 months, besides the super rare occasions where it's a long tail book that just wait for the right buyer to come along, it's never going to sell. Clearly, the price is out of line because Amazon's the biggest platform in the world. If it hasn't sold in 6 months, there's something going on with the listing. Yeah, dude, FBA. Yeah. You don't need FBM until restock limits come back or they decide to change the buy box shit back to the FBM stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Let's see here. It's kind of glitching up on me.
How's the capacity monitor for you guys? I mean, it's accurate. You can bid on more space, even if you're behind. Say you want to bid on more space for July and it's closed, right? And you go to bid on August, you actually can open a ticket and they usually will back credit it to July. So if you are maxed out on space, you actually can still get space in the current month you actually are in. But my space, I have plenty of space. I'm not that heavy into books, and mine's actually increased. I know a lot of people are seeing a decrease, but yet again, I basically want to sell every single item I have in inventory. And if you go to the more important thing is your storage utilization ratio on your FBA dashboard. It'll give you a week number, right? It'll say how many weeks. Mine's is right around 18 weeks. And in media world, most people are not even close to being that. So you just got to sell your shit, honestly, and you'll have space. That's all. That's kind of all that boils down to.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Rain's cleared up. I'm gonna get a hot tub. That's my first priority. Get a hot tub, put it right here.
What about a washer dryer?
We got that. Came with the house. All the appliances came, so that's nice. How can I DM you? Facebook, Instagram. Do you use Bookmine? I don't think either of us. I've messed around with it, but you don't leverage Bookmine, do you?
I mean, it works. I mean, it's just a matter of what type of business model you want to have. Everything works if you're willing to put in the time, do the research, you know?
Yep. I just spent $175 in an hour grabbing at an estate sale preview. Nice. Good stuff. Beard King Picker.
Yo, what's up, Beard King? You're probably sitting at the Goodwill bins right now with all them stinky people.
That puts people in like the piranha's state of mind. How do you manage the Keepa tokens for software? I read that there. No, They're not bad for
Oh.
us. We paid like $55 last month for. Mike probably used half of them. Looking at these books. What's
Avery covers
expensive?
my Keepa through GoToLister. That's the
Yeah,
only.
yeah, I do. But I collectively I pay $55 for all you guys, so it's not much.
Uh,
Maybe we're not doing. I don't know that much about software, honestly. I'm not the dev, but um, maybe we're doing something different. Uh, but Amazon's our expensive one. But still relatively not that much. Speaking of that, one thing that would be nice for a repricer would be to automatically manage duds versus items that you want to pay for long-term storage fees instead of Amazon's auto removal based on time. Do you want to, I know you talked about it a little bit, but do you want to talk about your removal system again real
yeah,
quick?
I mean, you kind of can set that up with any repricer. You can have based on how long the inventory's been sitting, and some of them will even go off based on price. So I tell a lot of people, if you're going to be the person that sells long tail books, just turn off the automated removals, and all you have to do is do it manually, right? Like we really don't spend much time in this business. So you turn off auto removals, you go in your actual manage all inventory on Amazon, filter to your oldest inventory, look at anything that is 9, 12 months and older, and you can manually create removal orders by yourself right then and there and change those prices. So you really don't even need a repricer to do that, and you don't have to have it turned on. I'm just a firm believer of sell through and turn and burn, because in my mind, there's an infinite amount of books, CDs, and DVDs for us to buy that are going to be profitable. So let's not waste any time worrying about the ones that are not going to be profitable. And unfortunately, the game we're in, some stuff has to just get donated by Amazon. Whatever the hell they do with it, I don't care.
Porch fridge, go redneck. LOL. No, I haven't been to bins in 3 months. Work with the waste company now doing book cleanouts.
Yeah, dude. See, look at that. Relationships. Get a hold of your estate sales, your junk cleanouts. I do think your AI thumbnails are pretty funny though, Beard King Picker. I laugh every time I see them. I'm like, this guy and his damn AI. I'm gonna start doing
I'm using
AI
it too,
thumbnails.
man. I have to get better at prompting. If you go look to my YouTube channel, there's a few.
All right, Avery turned into a robot in the yard. Let's see if he comes back to life here. Thanks. I appreciate the laughs I get from the thumbnails. But yeah, dude, I work with one estate sale company. It's not a big one, but it is nice being able to get first dibs. Especially, I know you do a lot of the eBay stuff for sure. So you definitely can knock it out the park with that. I just send all my eBay stuff to Johnny. So yeah, you gotta have relationships. Like thrift stores are reliable to an extent, but overall, you have to be willing to have conversations and literally tell people what you do and why you do it. And you'll be amazed at how open people are to being like, whoa, these books are actually going to somebody else that wants it, and they're not winding up in the dumpster somewhere. Got backroom access to my UPS store. Yeah. Behind Texas Roadhouse. Maybe you can dumpster dive for some steaks or whatever Texas Roadhouse sells, some old rotten baked potatoes and mashed potatoes that are like green colored. Uh, my UPS store, I just use their cart, I wheel it in, I cover the barcode so they can scan it easily. I make it pretty as painless as I possibly can. Mostly all eBay now. My Amazon is tanked. I thought we were on the verge of getting you away from the eBay, but you enjoy the books, man. And I think people that enjoy the books enjoy the eBay passionate side of book selling more than the Amazon throw it in a box, who cares about it type mentality. But I mean, a mixture of both is definitely the best way to go, right? Like that's why I still do eBay. I have somebody do eBay for me for 50%, but I don't have the knowledge base. Just like listen to you talk about this stuff, like I have. There's no way I could physically learn about books in that type of way. It doesn't excite me to learn about books, I guess is the right way to say it. And you know. But you can make money doing this any way you want, as long as you're making money, right? As long as you're not listing shit on eBay, with the great all the AI eBay software that's out there now, right? Like it's a crazy thing. Oh, AI software is going to change your eBay life, and you're still listing junk, but you don't list junk, so it don't matter. I mean, the stuff you're selling on eBay is what's going to sell, right? Everything you list, is eventually going to sell. So I'd be the same way. I literally would just replicate what you do on eBay. The Bibles, the religious stuff, the collectible stuff. It's all bread and butter items at the end of the day. And you got the space as well. I don't have the house, right? I'm up here in the penthouse, one room, 25 cats. I don't have space to be having a big eBay operation. Favorite stick songs, dumpster dive for some steaks and potatoes. Hey, I seen an episode of Extreme Cheapskates, and the lady had like everybody over for dinner, and all of the food was from like the local dumpsters, right? She was hitting like the Whole Foods and everywhere, and the people didn't know until they already ate it, and then she was like, "Hey, by the way, I got all this out of the dumpsters in the neighborhood." It's a shame how much we waste as a society, right? Like food, but that's the reality of it. We waste so much damn food. I think it's either one side or the other. Like some people, they see the expiration date on the bread and it's like, oh, it expired today. I got to get rid of it. Me, I'm like, that bread still looks half decent. I don't see any mold. We can still eat it even if it's like a week gone, like past the date. Favorite stick song? I mean, I would say the most popular one, but I feel like there's probably another one out there. All right, yes. I'm glad I looked. Too much time on my hands is going to be my choice. The first one that comes to mind is going to be Come Sail Away, but that's not, you know, Mr. Roboto is better than that. Too much time on my hands, though, is going to be my vote for favorite stick song. I get it. I mostly sell rare books on eBay, send barcode books to Amazon unless they're signed. Yeah, for a while, I was just sending all my signed stuff into Amazon without really caring because I didn't have Johnny to sell the eBay stuff for me. But now when I'm listing my Amazon items, if it's signed, I'll just throw it into the box that I send out to Johnny once a month and and kind of let him deal with it. I try to make this business as painless and as lazily efficient as possible. I don't want to be grinding like 60 hours a week in a media business. And if I am, like, and if you are right now, like, you should be making a shit ton of money. Like, I don't have enough sources around me to be outsourcing 40, 50 hours a week. But if you do, then you should take advantage of it, right? Because the opportunity is here and now. We don't know how long, we have this window of being able to make the money we do, selling the junk we do, and getting it at. I mean, just look at the change in prices over the past 2 years. You used to be able to get a 49 cents at Goodwill books, like now they're at least $3 minimum all day, every day. And some of my Goodwills now are $4.99 minimum for books and CDs and DVDs. So I think this window, it'll eventually close, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. So if you can, like, work a little bit harder, stay up a little bit later, start making a little bit better decisions with your money, start clearing out some debt, get a little bit of money in the bank account, and then you kind of can just do, whatever the hell you want to do, right? But that's goals, that's setting goals for yourself, your business. It's more than just selling things, right? How many people we see resell and they bust their ass or like they make all this money, but at the end of the day, you have nothing to show for it. I want, as much as I am like, oh, the reseller guy, I want people to take steps financially to get in a better spot. Because I used to, I didn't live in the car like Avery. I at least had an apartment, but I used to be broke as you possibly could be in the realm of brokenness. Like I had $0, 0 cents. Me and Deb used to go to McDonald's and use the Wi-Fi. I've been there, and that's the only reason I even do YouTube. It's not like anybody. I mean, Beer King, you could speak to this. Like the YouTube money is garbage. It's not like me and Avery are over here collecting thousands of dollars from YouTube videos. I do it solely on the good karma that comes back from helping people, like maybe change, their financial situation just a little bit, right? Like, because I know how much it meant to me to get myself out of that hole through reselling. And I think, even if I can just help one person take steps in the right direction, that's all that matters to me at the end of the day. And you're right. Get to those books before they hit the thrift stores. Anytime you see somebody donating books at like a thrift store, the first thing that should come to your mind is, why the hell didn't I get those? It's so easy. Like, I literally covered videos. I even put my full blown template out there. You literally can just cold email and cold call people, and you'll get responses, right? Like, you can create a free ad to get inventory. I will say this, right? You need some money to start this business. But if you're just willing to do a little bit of different things than just going to sit at the thrift stores and rely solely on the thrift stores, your business can grow in a beautiful way where you don't have to step foot in a Goodwill ever again in your life. And I started my reselling journey basically relying on Goodwills, right? I used to be an everything seller on eBay before I got into media on Amazon, and Goodwill was the spot. You go in, right? You get a shopping cart. You're filling up the shopping cart basically at every Goodwill. And now the Goodwills are my worst sources. I maybe only go to a Goodwill like once every month or so. It's just, things change over time, and you kind of can get ahead of the curve with some of the changes by having relationships, right? Like, I think about it, like the libraries I work with, like libraries, right? Like, I don't say libraries properly, and everybody gives me shit for it. Libraries. I have this forever, right? As
All
long as I'm
right,
here.
I'm gonna end it because my service is so bad.
All right, we're out of here. Avery's got crappy service at the new house. He'll get it upgraded. All right, he just moved in. Cut him some slack. Everybody, have a good evening. Thanks for hanging out with us as always.